Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Health Movement Podcast. I'm Derek, your host, a certified personal trainer and a teacher of over 20 years. I have an awesome guest with us today, but before I introduce her, I just want to reiterate we're not doctors. So before you go changing your programming, nutrition, anything like that, please check with your physician. And also, if you are watching this on YouTube, please give a like, follow, comment, all that stuff, as well as jumping over to our guest page and giving her a like and a follow as well. So without any further ado, I would like to introduce Mikail Jenkins to the show. Mikail, thank you so much for coming on.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
And you've got an awesome background in fitness and kind of a cool journey. So I thought we'd dive right in and you could tell us maybe what got you to this point and where did your love of fitness come from?
Yeah, definitely. So it's kind of a funny story. I did grow up playing like dabbling in high school sports and things like that, but I never went to the gym. I never had any knowledge of the gym, and I had my children really young. So when I was 22, yeah, I just had my second child, my son, and the time before I had lost the baby weight in all the worst ways, just, stopped eating a lot, just running like an excessive amount because I thought that
Yes.
was the only way. I'm like, you just lose weight by not eating and running. And so after I had my son, I was in college at the time. I was actually studying to be a dental. Oh my gosh, why did I just forget the name?
Dental
I was going
hygienist?
through dental, yeah.
Yes.
And and I had to take a lifetime activities credit, so basically some form of fitness class just for a college credit.
Yep.
And it was really hard at the time juggling schedules with kids at home and so I did a lot of online classes. So the only class that would fit within my schedule was a CrossFit class. And at the time, I didn't know what CrossFit was or anything. It was just the one class that worked. So I was like, okay,
Nice.
like I'll sign up, I'll get the credit. And then little did I know that class kind of changed my whole trajectory of life.
It's
It's
funny how that
crazy.
happens.
I know,
Yeah.
one little thing. So I got into this class and, they started introducing, again, I had no experience in the gym. So it was just so cool. Like I was learning so many different things. I definitely wasn't naturally good. I was not the most coordinated, so it took me a lot of time to, like, figure out how to do the movements, but it was just really exciting to have something that I was working on rather than focusing on just weight loss. So I was like, "Oh, I
Yeah.
have a million things I have to now figure out how to do and, like, get stronger at," and so after that class, that semester, I immediately found the nearest CrossFit gym, and I signed up. But the biggest thing was at the time, my ex was also going to school and work full time. So it was hard to make it work again with young kids. So the
Yeah.
only option I had to work out was going to be the 5 a.m. class. And anyone that knew me knew that was not a thing. I liked my sleep. I slept in. I was never a morning person. But I was determined. I'm like, no, I think I'll really do it. I think if we sign up and I think I can do it. So I signed up, I started a couple times a week and just was committed, and I have been a now, well, 11 plus years later, I've been a 5 a.m. gym
I love
goer,
it.
so life-changing.
That's my game too. I love the early morning
I
ones.
do too. I can't imagine it any other way, but if you knew me before then, you would never expect it. It's just you get it out of the way, and especially, like, as a parent and working, there's just nothing gets in the way at 5. That's what I like to say. I'm like,
Yeah,
"You wait till."
afternoon sports schedules and everything else comes up, at 4 or 5 AM, no one's getting up then to bother you, so
The only thing getting in your way is if you push snooze. So it's I committed to that, and yeah, I loved it. And from there I actually ended up loving the fitness so much. I switched my degree and I went into exercise science
that's
and
awesome.
started to really just like geek out because I was seeing, my body change. I was getting muscles. I wasn't just starving myself, and it was just this really cool thing that I never understood. And then I realized how much it was making me a better mom too, because these 5 a.m., I had a new baby. So he was waking up really early. And before going to the gym, I was so, I didn't want to wake up. I was so tired and sad. Like, why? But after starting at 5, he's waking up at 6, 6:30, I'm happy. I'm like, "Oh, you're
Yes.
awake." Like, I started my day. So I could feel myself becoming a better mom that way too because I was prioritizing my health, and I think that's a big thing that moms forget is that we become so selfless and we want our kids to be first, but honestly, we have to really take care of ourselves. So it was
Yeah.
a game changer in really every part of my life. So
There's a
long
reason why when
tangent,
you're on
but
a flight, they tell you to put your mask on first and then everybody else's.
yes, and
Yeah.
I believe that to be so true. I mean, I realized firsthand how much better and still like my kids, I have 15 and 11 now. So it's been a long
Nice.
time, but they've seen their mom from day one, going to the gym and prioritizing that, and
Do they exercise a lot? Has that bug hit them yet?
it's starting to. It's kind of funny because my daughter, she's the oldest. She for the longest time was just kinda, like, roll her eyes about all my gym stuff,
Yeah.
and I'm more like I've never wanted to, like, push everything, I've just wanted to kind of set the example, like,
Yeah.
"This is what you do," but I'm not forcing them to go to the gym. Same thing with eating, I try to we try to have a pretty healthy meals, but I'm not, like, being crazy with it and forcing my kids to
Yes.
eat this. So, but just this last she's in ninth grade now, and just the last, like, probably 5, 6 months, she's been, like, wanting to go to the gym with
That's
me and,
cool.
like, starting to work out, and she's even made comments like, "Mom, I'm so glad, like, that we grew up in this and, like, a household where, like, we prioritize protein and health," and just I'm
Yeah.
getting made my mom heart really happy.
That's cute. My son's
And then
16 and just started he's really taken to it the last couple months. He's like, "Dad, I got muscles now." I'm like, "I know you're getting." I'm 6'3" and he's just about reached my height. And I'm like, "At least I got the strength on him," but I know that window is closing quickly. He's catching
right?
up to me.
Which motivates you too. I mean, for me, I'm like, I
Oh,
want you wanna
absolutely.
push your kids, but also I'm like, "You can't be stronger or
I know it part of
faster," or
me is, like, proud well, all of me is proud, but there's still that little tiny part where, like, I'm not ready to give that up yet. I'm just and it's coming, and I'll
Yeah.
be psyched when it happens, but not yet. Not yet.
Yes, I agree. That's how I am. My son, he's very athletic in a lot of sports, so he's also getting the bug. He does his own little he's into baseball, so does his own little baseball exercises
Oh, that's cool.
and yeah. So again, I think that's huge. Just raising kids and, I don't see any resentment. They're not upset that I've left for an hour a day to go to the gym, and that's another part
No.
of waking up early, things like that. But they're seeing the benefits. They're seeing a healthy mom. They're seeing a mom that can still keep up with them, in their sports and things like that. And
Yeah. I've never met somebody who made a consistent habit of exercising or doing something like that, eating well, and regrets it, where they're like, "Oh, I
exactly.
wish I didn't get in better shape or feel better or eat well," because there's just so many benefits that come along with all that, and especially setting the example for your kids. You don't have to force anything on them, but if they see the effect it has on your life and maybe they recognize some of their friends' parents who don't have such a healthy lifestyle and maybe
Yeah,
some of the issues that they deal with.
exactly. Yeah. So I like being that the role model for health and fitness for my kids.
That's good. And then so you got your degree in exercise science, and now what do you do day to day?
Yeah, so I got my degree. I started coaching. So, as I told you, CrossFit was kind of like the pivotal point that I started on my fitness journey with CrossFit. So, I did end up getting my level one with CrossFit. So, I've been coaching at the CrossFit gym I go to for, 7, 8 years now.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, but at the time when I first got my degree, I was home with the kids most of the time.
Yep.
I hadn't prioritized quite my career yet, so I was just coaching on the side here and there. Um, but I got really into the competition side of things. So I started competing heavily in CrossFit, in hopes, and dreams to do that, make that
Yeah.
more into something. And it was a I competed for probably 7, 8 years, and there were some. That's what kind of stemmed my social media to start making that into my coaching page and my athlete page and growing that side, but also trying to grow my online coaching business.
Yeah, that's
So
understandable. I love that your most viewed reel is your epic fail from 2019, and then you progressing to be able to successfully do the lift. I don't know if it was 2021 or what
yeah,
year it
it was
was.
about a 5-year difference, which is what I wanted to portray because I think a lot of people get into their mind that they need that it's like a quick thing,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And I was the same way. I'm like, I need to drop this weight. I need to do it like immediately. So I'm going to do these extreme measures. But seeing like, if you stay consistent, yeah, it's 5 years, but like, what if I wasn't doing that for 5 years? And I think that's the hardest part, I think, for people to mentally like wrap their minds around it. It's like we all
Yeah.
want timelines, but if we could just find something we enjoy, find something that we can just do day to day, like those we're gonna reach those goals and we're gonna hit these milestones, but that doesn't mean it happened and didn't happen in 6 months or 6 weeks.
Yeah, but I think that's an important message, and I said 2021, I think it was 2024 was the progression, 19 to 24, so I apologize for that, but I just love that that's where you want, and I love that that's your most viewed one,
Yeah.
and it's not like a competition or like a I don't know, I see a lot of the guests no, I won't say guests, a lot of the people on social media, their most viewed stuff is like they're all dolled up or it there isn't as much substance to it, and not knocking anybody, but that's a that's an accomplishment, and you're willing to put out there like, "I dropped the weight. I saw you it move." I'm like, "Oh, my shoulders would rip." Like, I
Yeah,
can't
I know, it's a
that's
pretty
that
sketchy
looks yeah,
fail.
but it was
Luckily, I was a
awesome.
lot younger.
Oh, no, I can't imagine that much younger, but, I loved it, and then I liked the golf one too, that definitely made me laugh, the golf swing one, so you
Kind of
definitely get
fun.
your humor out there as, for everyone to see too. I love it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Um
so to kind of I know I kind of trailed off so on what I do day to day. So, right now I am a single mom to my 2 kids, so it's chaos. So
Yeah.
I do online coaching and on the side on top of I actually work full time in a wealth management firm. So I'm in the
Oh,
finance world full
nice.
time. Kind of, yeah, a little bit different. And the fitness stuff is still my passion. So I do coach still just a couple times a week at the CrossFit gym, but then I try to do everything online. I love in-person training, but unfortunately right now there's not
Oh,
a lot of time for it. So
yes.
I do online coaching where I do nutrition and fitness plans. I do a lot of one-on-one, but then also have recently developed like I call it the Strong Girls Club,
Oh,
and
nice.
just trying to specifically target the women that just want to get stronger, building a community, and
I
uh,
think that's really, really important. One of the women I teach with that I worked with for a while, um, and she lost a great deal of weight, has kept it off for a couple years, and she was having some, she need more help nutritionally, and I understand nutrition, but I don't hold a certification or anything like that. So she was going to a nutritionist, and she was having trouble with the last 5 pounds, and the woman told her to just skip a meal each day, and I was like, "What?" And she goes, "Yeah, no,
uh,
you told me, like, I know that's not right, you taught me well." I'm like, "Alright, good." But just the fact that that's what a professional is telling people, I think your job's incredibly important because that I told her, "Are you" I asked her if she was lifting, and she's like, "Well, I stopped doing that as much." I'm like, "Well, there you go, like, build more muscle, your metabolism goes up,
yes,
you and maybe the weight stays exactly the same, but, and I saw you mention this a lot in your post, body composition is huge, and that should be the
yeah.
focus. You can weigh, 130 pounds at and having a decent amount of muscle, you'll look very different than 130 pounds with very little muscle.
Exactly. I think it's been a while. I probably should resurface it because it was another good example. I have a post of me like right after I had my son, and then it's like I don't remember exactly how many years, but then I weighed the exact same amount, right? The first was
Yep.
the next one was just I had put on muscle. So it was hard because I do think that so many people in general, but women specifically, are uneducated in that part where they do just put so much pressure around the scale, that number. It's like we always have a target weight goal, we have our dream weight goal, but they don't realize that if they're lifting, they're going to put on muscle. That number might not change, but they're going to look so much different.
Mm.
And like you mentioned, when we have muscle, our body burns more calories. I think that's also the other thing. We always think more cardio. We're going to eat less and we're going to run more and we're going to lose weight.
Yeah.
But when we're doing that, we're losing our muscle mass, which our muscle mass is what helps burn more calories throughout the day doing nothing. So I try to get that point across that it's awesome because if you lift, you actually get to eat more.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
that freaks people
Yes.
out. They don't, most of my clients, I would say very rarely am I cutting calories, like when I start the nutrition client, even if their goal is weight loss.
Yeah.
More so than not, we're increasing their calories, and it freaks them out, and they are like, they have to really trust me in the process where we're like, okay, we're gonna eat a little bit more, and your body, get your body up because so many people are in this deficit for so long, and they've lost that muscle mass, so they don't have that building block that's helping burn those calories, but then also their body um, gets into just this maintenance at a really low calorie amount.
Yeah.
They don't realize that it adjusts. And then they're like, I'm eating 1,200 calories and I'm not losing that last 5 pounds. So
So then they're
then
in their
we're like,
mind, they're like, I have to go to 1,000
and you're
calories or
like, you can't
900
cut from
max.
1,200 calories. Like,
Yeah.
we need to increase you up so that your body gets to that maintenance zone a lot higher. So,
Do
anyways,
you have
it's
a method you use or anything you found that helps build the trust? Or is it you have enough out there that people can see and they know you know what you're talking about?
It's a great question. Yeah, so I try to post as much as I can. When I do take on a client, though, we have a lot of like one-on-ones first because I think that is important. It's
Yeah.
hard, especially online. I mean, there's thousands of online
Yes.
trainers, right? I could
Yes, there
go
are.
find a million today, but I like to have like a lot of one-on-one conversations first and understand their goals and kind of build that trust firsthand so that they do. And I do weekly check-ins because I know the mental side more than anything. A lot of my like
Right.
weekly check-ins are based around the mental side, like how did this feel? And I like to do everything gradually. If they're eating 1,200 calories, I'm not going to be like, "Okay, now you're going to eat 2,000 today,"
Yeah,
because
no,
it's going to
that's
freak
not
them
gonna
out.
work.
So I always take into account like where they're at, knowing, and yeah, just kind of build that trust and do it slowly. Again, I try to get as far away from any quick fixes and let them understand that this is a journey, that we're not, I'm not trying to change their life. Like we'll see a million fitness coaches, they're like 4 weeks and you're gonna
Yeah.
you're gonna drop 20 pounds. Like I'm not making any promises, but if they trust the process, they're gonna learn a lot and they're gonna see these changes on their body.
And how long have you been doing the online training for?
It's been about, oh, time is crazy, probably 6, 7 years, I would say.
It's got I imagine you've made some strong connections there. If you help people make the transformations, that's a bond that's pretty strong that you create with somebody.
It is. I have clients from years ago that I love. Like, I'll just get random texts that I don't even work with anymore, but just like want to tell me about something they accomplished. Those are like my favorite texts to
Oh,
get.
that's
Like,
cool.
guess what? I just got this on my race, or I increased, or they'll send me their body composition, like their body fat percentage.
Yeah.
And yeah, because I do, I want also a coach, but also a cheerleader. I want them to feel like that. So I that's probably my favorite part. I love the relationships you build, the community, I don't know.
It's a good feeling to know you're able to help somebody too and see them in a good place. I think I since starting this show, I started it with a buddy of mine and we had talked about like four main. He didn't like to use the word pillars because of he worked with TB12 and they use that
Oh.
terminology, but four pillars. Tim's not here to yell at me, so I can use it. But there's the fitness side, nutrition, your rest and recovery, but then the mindset piece was always the biggest one and probably the most difficult. You can do things right once for, a day or a week or 2 weeks, but do you have the right mindset where you have a clear goal? You understand why you want to do something because
Exactly.
it's a lifestyle change and there are going to be days where you're not at your best. And it's okay to have a crappy day and like, you know what, a bag of Swedish fish is what I need right now. And I'm not going to I'm going to do it
Yes.
and I'm going to eat it. And then I'm going to get back on the horse and I'm going to be good after that. But it's like, that's okay. It happens. But having the right mindset to understand that and then just to keep the long-term goals.
And that's like the hardest thing for a lot of people is because they are too hard on themselves. I always talk like, again, I know I've mentioned quick fixes so much, but we do get in this mentality like we have to check off all of these things. So, we're working out 6 days a week, we're eating perfect. And then one day happens like that. We have a day and we all have them. We're all
Right.
human
Yep.
and we don't want to do it. And then we're just like, oh, I didn't work out. So then I'm going to go binge eat too. And then the next day is like, might as well do, it's just like,
Yeah.
but if we can be like, that's okay, I gave myself that day and jump back in and not think that all of our progress is gone, then then we can kind of keep on that process.
Yeah, I had there was a guest on, Sarah Anon, who's a habits coach, and
Oh,
she
okay.
had said that if you miss something once, you just missed it. If you missed it twice, or if you do it twice in a row, now you're forming a new habit. So
I
don't
like that.
allow yourself to miss it twice, which I
Yes.
think is a good way to look at things where it's all right, I can't do it again. I gave myself a day or I gave myself whatever it happens to be. And then you just move on from there.
Move on. And
Yeah.
I think knowing that it doesn't have to be like all or nothing. I don't know if you saw my post just recently. I was talking about that specifically is small habits adding up
Yes. Yep.
because people they want to eat perfect. They want to work out. They want to get the sleep. They give themselves 5 things to do in a day. And it's like, you're just setting, especially if those none of these are your habits. So you're
Yeah.
telling me you're creating 5 new habits tomorrow? Like you're gonna change your life in
Yeah.
5 ways tomorrow? And of course, most people are going to fail because that's crazy.
It
Even when
is.
starting my journey, I started working out regularly and I got that down, but I wasn't eating good yet. I didn't have any knowledge on the nutrition side, but I was just working out regularly. So it's same thing, like, if, we ate terribly, so then we think, "Okay, we might as well skip the gym too," or it doesn't have to be, like, all or nothing.
Yeah.
And I think if we can pick one habit to start with, whether, you're changing your eating or you're just going to the gym, usually once we develop one habit, then those other habits will start to follow. I know for me, it was like, okay, well, I'm working out regularly. Now I feel like I need to fuel my body. Like I need to, I started paying
Yep.
attention to the food. And um, I think by just starting with one goal and building across, because then when you get to that point, once you have put in all those goals, like I'm not stressed when I miss a day now. I don't. But it
Yeah.
took a lot of time for me to get there because I was the same way when I was going to the gym at the beginning. I was working out like 6, 7 days a week and I was like so hard on myself. Like I can't have a rest day. Like what?
Yeah.
And then you grow and realize that's okay. But
And your
it is,
mentality with I'll just use going to the gym as an example, but it used to be, at least for me, like, "All right, I gotta go to the gym. I have to go to the gym." And now I wake up and I'm like, "All right, I get to go to the gym to," like, and it's more of like, I don't know, maybe I'm nuts, but I just look forward to going every day and it kinda sets my day right. So it's
yes.
like, "All right, I'm lucky enough I get to do this. I appreciate the fact that, and I'm getting older, so I'm not as, I have my aches and everything else that I'm trying to fix, but I'm definitely well enough to go every day, and I can, I understand now I'm not going to lift heavy 7 days a week because that's gonna destroy me. But
Yeah.
I have mobility days, and I have like just it might be a 3 mile walk. We meet up with some buddies at the gym, and we go for 3 4 miles, and
I love that.
that's the exercise. So it's, I don't know. I wanted to ask you, you mentioned going to CrossFit, after not going to the gym. Usually people have like they do like a slow progression to get used to going. Maybe they'll go in and go on the treadmill for a couple weeks and then they'll be like, all right, I'm going to brave the dumbbell section. I'm going to do this. You just dove right in. What was that? Do you remember the first couple days going into a CrossFit gym or having that CrossFit class?
Yeah, it's kind of funny because you mentioned that, like, you tell someone CrossFit initially, and they're like, "I have to get in shape first." Like, people always think, like,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
have to, like, I can't just go yet. I gotta do all of this first, where it's not the case. Like, in a CrossFit gym, there are people at all levels. There are people that have never worked out, which I think is the beauty of it. Like, the community side is that you
Yeah.
have
Oh, absolutely.
competitive CrossFitters, and then you have someone that's just, starting for their first day and we're all working out together. We're all doing the same workout and it's pretty cool. So for me, starting out, I did have the privilege of that it was in a like college class setting. So there was
Oh,
a
I
class of
gotcha.
us. So there was, 10, 15 of us all learning for the first time too. So I think that did kind of
That's
ease
gotta help.
things. But I it was just exciting just to learn it because I think I might have had the same mindset. I probably would have been more intimidated, but people just realized that everyone has to start somewhere. I
Yeah.
was my first class, like I said, it was hard for me to get the movements. I wasn't very coordinated. I remember trying to learn a power clean one of the first days and trying with the PVC pipe and just like not knowing
Yeah.
how like my body, like I'm like, I just can't do this. Everyone else in the class is doing it. And I'm like, I just like can't figure
Oh, and
this
then you
out.
get to the
So
muscle ups. I imagine that was a process too to get that technique
yeah,
down.
yes, exactly. And that goes to the point of why CrossFit's exciting because you're learning how to do so many
Yeah.
skills on top of getting strong. So the muscle ups, yeah, I naturally have had a stronger upper body, genetically. So, like, I had the strength for those pretty early on.
I saw the pull-ups with 20-pound weights hanging from your
Yeah.
feet. I was like, "You're such a show off."
That was my, like, claim to fame in CrossFit. My legs, not so much. I can't squat much, but I could always do a lot of pull-ups. I was always just kind of the upper body muscle,
Yeah.
body weight stuff. So muscle ups, but it was more the coordination. So I remember learning to do a muscle up, but just like literally muscling it before I learned
Yeah.
how to like get the correct form and everything.
But I love the and I've harped on this through a few episodes, and I just really wanna hammer the point home of the lack of judgment for somebody showing
Yes.
up. Like, somebody at CrossFit who's a seasoned veteran will never judge a new person. A
No.
musician who's a master of piano never judges somebody going to their first lesson, or a writer, the same thing. It's if you're really good at something, you appreciate somebody trying it out themselves and trying to get better. And you remember
Yeah.
the days when you sucked. So you can appreciate what it's like and what they're going through.
Exactly. We all started there. And that's the hard thing with social media, though, right? We're seeing everybody's highlights. We're seeing everybody,
Oh,
if they jump to my page and saw the pull up thing, but they don't realize, where I started from. And I think that's
yeah.
everyone. We're all peeking into someone's like the middle of their journey and we're not realizing, like I've been doing this for 11 years. Like this has been this long, long progression of a thing. And that's with everyone. So, I remember how exciting, like, we get, new people at the gym, and when they start getting those skills down, it's like, so exciting because I also experienced that, and so you're never judging, and I do think, like, that gym intimidation thing is so real in CrossFit settings and in regular gym settings. Because what's actually funny is that I started in CrossFit, so then, a few years ago, I actually wanted to try something new, so I got into the bodybuilding space, and I
Oh,
competed in a
nice.
few bikini shows. And for me, I had been so used to CrossFit that I felt that at the gym. I went to a regular gym and I'm like, I don't know these machines. Like I'm used to throwing a barbell around, but
Yeah.
like I feel so silly because like, is everyone, are they looking at me figure out this machine when they all know? And I had to be humbled again, just, that far into my fitness journey because I didn't know. And I learned
Yeah.
and that's the fun thing is that you can pivot and learn different ways of fitness, if you can get yourself to show up, right?
Yeah, and I think we just have to stop taking ourselves so seriously. And I forget who it was, but somebody said like you need to experience emotions, and one of them is embarrassment. Like get used to embarrassment. So when you go and I've been even now. I'm 46 and been going to the gym for 25, 30 years. There are new machines that I see. I'm like, oh, I don't know what the heck. So, but I'll ask somebody. I've gotten to the point I don't really care. Um, but it's fun to learn new things and try new things out, and especially if you go from a CrossFit style to machines that are gonna isolate a specific muscle group, that's gonna hit very differently than CrossFit, and
Yes,
it's good to experience all that new stuff.
it is. I loved the journeys of both, but then also not only for myself, like, as an athlete, but then as a coach, it's been awesome because now I've experienced both sides of things. So now with my coaching, I kind of utilize all of it. I use the tools from the CrossFit because I think there's so much power in functional fitness. But
Mhm.
then, with aesthetic goals and things like that, there's so much that comes from just your standard, bodybuilding gym. And so using that to kind of create, based on people's goals, but utilizing both sides of the fitness, because I feel like a lot of times both struggle. There's that um rivalry of CrossFitters versus
Yes. Oh, it's definitely
bodybuilders,
there. It's
like, oh,
definitely there.
we can make jokes all day and I appreciate them. I think they're funny. I love the CrossFit like reels where people are making fun of how crazy it looks
Oh,
and
you have to. You have to. But again, that goes back to like not taking yourself too seriously and having fun. A buddy of mine's an electrician, and there are all these memes that the plumbers, electricians, and HVAC do against each other, and they're just making fun of each other. But it like I doesn't mean anything. Like nobody's really gonna judge a plumber or an HVAC if you're an electrician and
no.
think they're any. It's just you got to learn to have fun with stuff. So
Got
it
to.
goes
And
on.
I think, I like that example because it's like they all chose their career path. And I think it's the same way in fitness. I always say, find what you enjoy because
Yes.
you don't want to make it feel like work, especially when you're starting out. Because people are like, I hate the gym. But there are so many different forms of fitness, like maybe you hate the standard gym, but you like a CrossFit gym or you like a Zumba class or you like,
Yeah.
whatever it is. It's like there's something for everyone.
I
And
saw
so,
you had a couple reels where you were testing out new gyms and and you were reviewing, I think I saw Bikram yoga and there was like a sweaty
yeah.
cycle and I
Yeah,
thought that was awesome.
I went to like an F45, an Orange Theory, like just trying out these different classes because that's what I preach. So I want to actually try it, right? Because I
Yeah.
felt the difference when I shifted to a gym, and I'm like, let's go try out all these gyms, and it was awesome. Like they all have pros. Like they're all, you're getting your fitness in every day, regardless. But
Yeah.
a lot of them have that community feel, and I think it's great for people if they want to just experiment. Like, go find something you enjoy because if you're waking up dreading the gym every day, you're never going to build a habit that way.
Yeah.
Like, I truly believe you can find something that you love because if I hated like the CrossFit thing, loved it. So then it never felt like a chore, something I look forward to every day. And I truly believe people can find that somewhere. That doesn't mean they're
Oh,
CrossFitter.
absolutely.
I never push that agenda because I know some people love it, some people hate it, but I do think that everyone can find their something.
Now for work in finance, are you in an office?
Yes, I am.
Do you go in sleeveless and just sit there like this next to some of the people?
Unfortunately, no. I had to get used to dressing up in the
Oh.
business attire. It is great though. My boss and actually several of the employees all go to the CrossFit gym. So
Oh,
we
that's
do all
awesome.
have that in common. And I am currently, for the office, I am like the nutrition and fitness coach. So right now I'm programming for all of them. So we all
Oh,
have that
that's
fitness side.
awesome.
So it's kind of fun. We keep that accountability and
It's nice to like you keep talking about community too, and that's a huge part of this. Just to because like we said, you're gonna have days that aren't good days. It's gonna happen. It has happened, it will happen. And when you have people that, it's not so much accountability like you're doing something wrong, but just like somebody to hold your hand through those days that suck and that help you
yeah.
through it.
And a lot of times even just to see them, like I said, I've been at this 5 a.m. class. I've been working out these same people for 10, 11 years.
Oh,
These are
nice.
my closest, and there's all these moms, these parents, these things, and this is their social hour. This is, we all come
It
in and work
is.
out
That's so
together.
true.
You get to see your friends. Like I get to see my friends every morning. It's like, so even if I'm not wanting to wake up or feel like maybe not wanting to work out, it's motivating to like, oh, well, I get to go see my
Yeah,
friends today and I get to
it's
work out
fun.
with them. And yeah, the amount of things that came up just from that community aspect, I think is amazing. Like the friendships I've built, but I don't know. There's nothing like working out and like pushing yourself to those limits together that I think brings people closer. It's like we're all suffering, we're all doing, we're all going hard
All a little
and
bit psycho if you're getting up at 4 or 5 and doing that, you have that kinship there.
exactly. And to bring it back to why I think it's cool that anyone can start is that 5 a.m., my class, all of the classes, I was a big time competitor for a long time. And most of the 5 a.m. were not, but we're all doing the same workout every day. My weights just look a little bit different or,
Yeah,
everything's modifiable. So that's what's cool is I love that everyone's doing the same thing. Like we're
yeah.
all feeling the same at the end of the workout. I could be doing it for 11 years and you come for your first day. We're both like completely dead after the workout. We both have pushed ourselves the same way, even if my weights are slightly different or whatever it is.
That's yeah, and there was a guy I had on, Mike Agby, he owns a dojo, and does Wing Chun, and it's
Oh,
not too
cool.
far away, it's about 40 minutes from my house, and he was on the spring, and he keeps trying to get me to come, and I want to, but I was, injured I have Achilles tendonitis, and it was,
Oh,
flaring up as he was on. I went down to a class, and he kicked my butt, which was fun, and then over the summer, it got worse. I paint houses during the summer, so being on a ladder was not ideal for it,
oh
and
yeah.
I texted him this morning, I'm like, "Alright, dude, I'm coming down." And I'm nervous. I'm definitely nervous because I
Yeah.
went once, and these guys know their stuff, and it's not like we're gonna get into a fight or anything, but I know none of the technique. I've never had any background in this. I consider myself a decent athlete, but this is brand new and out of my comfort zone, but
Yeah.
it's something I'm really, really looking forward to just to try something new, but I know the community there. I interviewed some of the people, and they're just saying, like, this changed me, like, being part of this group made a huge difference in my life, and
I love that.
yeah, I don't know, I'm excited. I'm definitely excited to try this.
I'm
Um,
excited for you. That's
yeah.
awesome. I think it's so cool to try new things and to challenge yourself. So,
Well, if you ever find yourself in Massachusetts, you'll have to come to a class with me.
yes,
Let's see how
yes,
that
for
goes.
sure.
Oh, well, Mikhail, I appreciate you taking the time and hopping on here with me. How can people get in touch with you? What's the best way?
Yeah, so if you find me on Instagram, it's Mikhail33. Um, Through there, you can obviously reach me out via Instagram, but I do have my coaching page on there as well as my email. So just you can go through there for any way.
Okay, I'll put all that in the show notes. And then hopefully people will reach out and say hi at the very least.
Yeah, I would love that.
But I gotta say her page it's awesome. There's a lot of I feel like a dork using the term real, but there's like you show the wins, you show the losses, you have normal conversations, and you're very upfront with things. So I think it's a good page to follow, and there's a lot of good advice
Well,
on
I
there.
really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Well,
thanks for
thank you,
having
everybody.
me. It was great. It was great
Oh,
talking.
and you are welcome anytime. I appreciate it. So thank you, everybody, for listening. Remember, like, follow, subscribe, comment, do all that fun stuff.